Have you ever wondered if your intuition is trying to tell you something, but you're not quite sure how to listen? Well, today you're going to find out. We're chatting with Katie of Katie Soul, a medium and soul guide.
This is Charleston Women podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women podcast.
Hello, this is Kim Russo, your host of the Charleston Women podcast. Today we're joined by Katie of Katie Soul, a medium and soul guide who helps people navigate life through intuition, human design, and spiritual connection. Her work focuses on making spirituality feel less mysterious and more practical, helping people better understand themselves, find clarity in time of uncertainty, and connect with their past loved ones and soul purpose. Katie is passionate about bringing a grounded, modern perspective to mediumship and showing how these tools can support everyday life. Katie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
For somebody who's never heard of you or what you do, can you explain what it is that you do?
My title, I guess, is psychic medium, right? But that really doesn't explain what I do. It is more of a modern take on mediumship where I will connect in with past loved ones and we'll do healing in that regard. But it's also more about life here and now. It's very what people call therapeutic. And I do have people that come like on a therapeutic basis. It's psychic mediumship, but I'm not going to tell you about your future. I'm just going to help you get there, if that makes sense.
So how did you discover this gift or ability that you had?
I love to call it an ability because it does require some work, but I was born this way. So of course, all those weird stories when you're growing up, especially being Italian Catholic in New York, it was a little off of what I guess my family was used to, but this was the way it was for me growing up, just a little unique. I turned it off for a while, but when I became a mother, it definitely turned back on. And when I found out it could help people, that's when I discovered that it really is something I wanted to dive deeper into.
Was there a moment specifically that you were like, oh, what is this?
I channeled a little girl who had passed for her mother, and it was just obviously this crazy way that we connected, the mother and I. And it was through that reading where I found out that it changed the perspective on this mother's life to know, to have validation and evidence that her daughter was still living just without a body. Her soul still remained. That validation for her pretty much saved her life. And through that, I realized that there's a lot more to this mediumship thing than just telling somebody's future, you know?
How did you realize it then later on? What was the moment that you're like, okay, this is something I need to get back into doing?
It was that moment when I spoke with the mother. And then I realized, but also realized I was going to do it my way. There wasn't going to be anything negative. I wasn't going to work with clearing homes or doing any of that type of work. I work in the light and I work on helping people navigate life here and now.
When did you decide to make it into a business?
So I never really decided to make it into a business. It just happened. I actually fought it. I was like, nope, not doing this. I put all my oracle and tarot cards away. I was like, no. It was weird. It was a little awkward. I didn't know how to make it into something. So the way I see it is the universe just kind of made it into something for me. I'm not great at marketing. I'm not great at business, nothing like that. But I say spirit does my marketing. And if you're meant to find me, you will.
Well, what is modernizing mediumship? That's something that you mentioned. What does that mean to modernize it?
So modernizing it to me means you're not really going to know that this is what I do. I'm not going to go out there wearing a scarf and having my crystal ball with me. Modernizing mediumship and psychic work and intuition and all that is literally just being a mom with a job and paying bills and just doing life here and now without being too disconnected. I mean, I use the word woo a lot and I love it because it's like the umbrella term for all the things that I like to dive into, but you can be too woo. And that means being ungrounded and not here in the world now. So it's how do we take our belief system, our spirituality, our spirits that have passed? How do we take all that and use it and now to help us move forward and thrive and do our soul purpose here now and kind of combine the two?
What's a misconception that somebody might have when they think of mediumship in the crystal ball and the neon sign? What's something that they should know?
Again, I'm not going to tell you your future. That is on you. Like 90% of life is choice in my belief system. 10% is what I consider destiny. And that's where we kind of made a contract with God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, goddess. And it's like, that's when we decide like, okay, this is definitely going to happen. But 90% of life is just how you navigate it to get there.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine. We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women podcast.
One thing you talk about is intuition. So I love this conversation. I call myself an intuitive designer because it's based off of feelings. Definitely took a while to understand and trust and listen and know about intuition. How can somebody tell the difference between intuition and fear and recognizing it?
I love that question because I truly believe that everybody has the ability to connect in with their intuition. And for me, the way I explain it is if you can explain it, it's not intuition. Intuition doesn't use words, it's a language. All of this is just a different language. It uses our clairvoyance, which is basically just our imagination. You know, it uses our body, it's our feelings, it's the way we kind of clench up or make a face. You know, it's like our body is trying to tell us too. So if you have words to describe what you're feeling, that's all you. That it really is. I can't describe it. I just can't go into that store. I mean, that's your intuition talking to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So for me, I kind of get like a gut feeling, or I'll know it, but I'll second guess myself.
The second guessing is huge because you always end up going back to the first knowing anyways. So that's why it's like slow down, watch your body. Your body's giving you clues. And if you start thinking about it and start giving it words, then you've lost that moment of intuition. It's a very easy catch once you do it, and repetition is key, right? So like there's science involved in this too. The brain loves repetition. Routine is sacred. So it's like the more we do it, like the way to it is through it, you know? So you have to keep doing it to understand what that language feels like to you. You'll know, oh, I second guessed it or I gave it a different word. That's not the right word. That's not the right verb to use in this instance. So you'll know, but it just takes time and trust.
Yeah. So practice, time, trust. What's something that people can pick up on to know, like, is this intuition or is this just a feeling?
That again is something you basically get to decide. Besides the fact that if you have words for it, it's not intuition, if you just feel it, but you also get to decide where you feel it. Like you said, you feel it in your gut. I know for me, sometimes I itch a certain part of my hand or my arm, or I'll start like, I have different, like kind of, my hands do it for me. So hear me. It's like, I'll like go like this sometimes too. And my intuition's like, this isn't a good place for you. You might feel like cuffed or stuck, you know? So you get to do that with your body too. And bigger conversation is like your spirit guides and your past loved ones. You get to say, hey, you know, let's use my body to help me understand, because our brain overthinks it. So you get to decide like, hey, I want to have that, like a tickle in my calf or something. You can put it anywhere you want to. Like you get to have some control over this.
Yeah. I think my people pleasing tendencies tend to bulldoze my intuition sometimes.
That's such a good way to say it. But the fact that you're aware of it, that awareness is everything.
Another thing that I like became obsessed with a few years ago is human design.
Oh,
So I'm a 3-5 manifesting generator, gave myself a lot of permissions once I figured out some of those personality traits. How do you bring that into mediumship and like, how does that correlate?
absolutely love human design because it is like, it's a roadmap of your energy. And it really does double down on the fact that like life involves connecting with others. Connection is everything. Energy loves more energy. So if you know the way yours works and where it doesn't, then you can outsource better, right? We don't want to use our energy on things that aren't necessary. So let's go to the friend. Like, I'm an emotional generator for a 6, and I just like to do what I do. Coming up with ideas and like initiating something, not my thing. I love my projector friends for that. And you Manny Gens, you are hard to keep up with. I'll tell you. I'm like, yes, please do that. Yes, sure. Okay. So it's like where I thought I was people pleasing before, it really is just, I don't need to use my energy to start or do things. It's like, oh, that's a full body yes for me. So that's where you get to like use your energy the way it's meant to be used. So knowing those things about yourself too. And I'm not saying like you have to agree with everything in your human design or even in your astrology. But it's a beautiful invitation to like, maybe that is me. Maybe that's a different perspective. And that perspective shift can change a lot of things in your life and maybe give you energy where you didn't have it before.
I used to say I'm a self-diagnosed ADHD, and then I figured out I was a manifesting generator.
I work with a lot of mothers that have children. We do their human design, and I'm like, it's like every manifesting generator child is like labeled something at work, at school, and it's usually like ADHD or something. And I'm like, no, they're meant to be that way. Let them be that way.
When I gave myself permission to have a million tabs open, I felt better about having a million tabs open.
Totally. I always tell my Manny Gens too to like write down your ideas and like put them in a book or put each little piece of paper into a jar and like come back to it if you need to. But your ideas are great. You just don't have to do all of them if you don't want to.
How do you work human design into mediumship, though? That's something that's super fascinating to me.
Well, that's definitely part of the modernizing the experience too, because the initial reading is where we really do connect in with past loved ones and spirit guides in your soul. And it's a big like general what's going on in your life, like where were the blocks from the past and how are we moving forward. Human design is one of those tools that I use to help us move forward. So guides and intuition, past loved ones, they're going to give you like a general perspective, again, kind of like an umbrella perspective, a higher view. And then it's like, if you're in the moment and you can't connect to grandma, okay, but I do know that I'm emotional when it comes to my decisions. So I'm going to wait on this and be like, that sounds great, but I'm going to give you a final answer tomorrow. So those are the types of things that we use it for, just a tool in the toolbox for the everyday here and now. Because again, it's hard too when you're doing like your job or contracts or buying a home and you're like, hold on, let me pull my tarot cards. And you're like, no, it's there. Just remember your energy and where you're best. And if choice is not your thing, phone a friend.
Next, we're going to go into grief. You talked about talking and connecting to past loved ones. How can somebody spiritually connect with someone?
Grief is so big, obviously, and it isn't just connecting with past loved ones. Sometimes grief is like grieving a situation or mourning like the loss of a job or the loss of a relationship. But specifically when it comes to grief regarding like losing a family member, losing a loved one or a friend, that's something where just knowing, I think a reading for some is just a key to hope. Mm-hmm. And that hope helps every single day. The evidence, that's why we call it evidential mediumship as well. That's like the title of it. Because having evidence and validation, when grandma comes in and says, oh, thank you for wearing the ring that I gave you. They're like, oh my gosh, that's her. That's so her. And then it gives them that hope that even in the tough times during each and every day, they can remember that grandma's there. And then from there, we start our language. Again, this is the intuitive language applies here as well. So we start working on, what is grandma energetically in the physical world? Well, she's that butterfly that loves to come to the rose bushes. You get to decide. And then you have to feel like not every butterfly is grandma, but you'll know the ones that are. That's where it's different. That's where it's like, I don't believe everything is a sign. In fact, I'd really just like a billboard with my name on it and like my numbers and my sign, like all the things. And then I will truly, truly believe it. Like, I'm very skeptical. If you see it and feel it, again, kind of double down, with your intuitive abilities, you're like, okay, that's it. Yeah. That's her. And I know that someone's with me, helping me and guiding me through life here and now. And I really believe that hope is something that every religion, every spiritual belief system offers. So definitely open to all of it. Just believe in something.
Do people ever come to you kind of skeptic and then leave with a whole new vision?
Definitely, definitely. And that was something that was hard in the beginning for me. But now it's just like, I'm not here to like perform. It's not my goal to change you, to shift you. Like, I don't want to like prove what I do and what I believe. That's not why I do it. Take what lands, leave the rest. I'm spirit-based, spirit-centered. So I'm going to give you what I get. And that's all I offer. From there, you can make your own decisions. But I will say, I've never had anybody leave like a skeptic. Every skeptic I've had has left with a newfound perspective of spirituality.
You mentioned too grief beyond just past loved ones for a loss of even somebody living. How do you navigate that with people?
So that's another one too, where we'll look at our tools like astrology or human design and the spiritual perspective. Again, I've definitely said the word perspective a lot because that shift is everything. It's realizing like this isn't over. There's still more that your soul has, that you were working on patience. And that relationship was a beautiful opportunity for you to work on patience. But now that one's over and it's time for you to start another lesson. Again, just seeing it a different way, or like, wow, your Venus is in Aries. So you definitely love hard and you fight for what you love, and that's fine, but you don't have to fight. You can put down your sword. And then it just getting the validation from the planets or getting the validation from even your human design. Like, oh, I'm meant to meet people through other people. Okay, so that makes sense that this energetically didn't work. Again, it's just a way to help you through something if it resonates.
I know a lot of women in my circle, more than just Charleston, they're really looking for, especially entrepreneurs, looking for clarity. They're looking for purpose. Where do you encourage people to kind of start to get their soul purpose?
I would love to say like, look inside, look deep inside, but like, that's not it. Because if you told me that, I'd be like, wait, where? Like, I don't get it. Again, those tangible tools, like looking at your human design, what you're best at and what you're not really as good at, and where your planets are like, wow, you're a very good communicator. You should definitely be using that more. Like your planets, Mercury will tell you that. It's not like they lead your life, but they can help give you a roadmap. And then you look inside and then you're like, you know what? I knew that all along. I did. And I always say too, like a good reading is just validating that what you already know. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I say look inside, you're not going to know where to look. But if I give you some tools, then you can you just know deep down what is for you and what isn't. Your human design can help you in business. Knowing your astrology can help you with the timing of when is a good time to maybe roll something out in business. So putting it all together and then at the end of the day, feeling what feels right to you, that's it in a nutshell.
What is something exciting, I already know what it is, that's coming up in your business that maybe could be a good place for people to start this?
I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but finally starting to do retreats. A time where we can really dive deep into all these elements all at once. 3 nights, 4 days of just solid, like all the woo. So I definitely do classes too, like online classes where we work on our intuition, the language, and how we want that to look. Retreats are where my heart is because I truly believe you have to dive deep into all of it at one time and really get it like in your soul, and then you can start integrating it into your life.
Where can listeners connect with you and learn more about your work?
My website is Katie O Soul, Katie, katieosoul.com. Everything on my website and Instagram. I don't use Facebook as much, but I'm there as well. But again, my Instagram is Katie O Soul. And that really is where I put most of my information. But definitely DMing me or messaging me through my website is definitely cool. I like that.
And the summer 2026 edition of Charleston Women, because you won She Shines.
That was so cool too, because that's everything I've been working towards in terms of showing mediumship in a different light. So the She Shine Award being in mental health and wellness, that means everything to me. Because it is mind, body, soul. It's not just your future or your past loved one. It's all of it all together. That was such an honor, and I'm so grateful for it.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for being a guest today on the Charleston Women podcast and allowing us to learn all about Katie O'Soul.
Thank you again for having me. This was such a great experience.
I'm Kim Russo, and I will see you next time on the Charleston Women podcast.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.